Oh yeah, okay. I'll go in order. So Blink, then Gilgamesh, then Gwenpool, then Kate Bishop, then Symbiote Spider-Man, then Agent Venom.
Bitch, you think I can type that fast?
My bad. Where you at? What you up to?
Come on, man. Give me a minute.
Get all that?
Scar.
We're ready to kick things off.
We are ready to kick things off.
Fantastic.
Smoke out.
Oh,
he's got to exhale, man. Come on.
Yeah, get out. Do your thing.
Damn, bro. You know
he always rushes that. Like, he's always like, all right, I can't even finish a sentence. All right, we're good. Hello, everyone, and welcome on back. You know how annoying it is to edit half the time? It's like, but you break.
Give us a fraction of a second more. Jesus.
Okay.
I got to get a clapboard for a second.
I count to 10 Mississippi since you guys on that wave today. Wait to 10 Mississippi. Do your thing.
All right, cool.
You ready now? Everybody's good?
I'm ready.
5, 4.
3, 2, 1. Everyone, welcome back to the Marvel Snapcast podcast. Hope you guys are having a great start to your holidays. We have some awesome things to talk about today, right? We got the new card that just came out that's been killing the meta, doing awesome things. I definitely stepped on it. Then we're going to talk about the next 2 cards coming out, along with some amazing updates to card acquisition that was released today. And of course, we're going to rate our wonderful season pass for the year, which we think is the top one for 2024. And then we'll end off things with discussing the awesome event happening this weekend at Brooklyn. I am here, your host, the one and only Super Tech God, here with the wonderful other hosts with me. Number one, starting with the top 5.
The top 5 best snappers in the world. Cino. Because I snapped that hot fire. We all rep that power on all day. Let's go. Yeah. What's going on,
man? Everything good?
Chilling, man. Same old. Yep.
It's crazy. It's been 12 months and we still can't get that intro set up properly.
That's why I laughed. You messed it up. So I was just like, all right, let's go.
Our other guest also has guests in his name, Mr. Sax Party himself, the one and only.
It's me. It's Guest Gaming. Hey, I got a saxophone and I do stuff. And I'm happy to be back. I know I actually got comments this week of like, hey, are you on the Snapcast anymore? Or do you just make cameos? And I'm like, y'all, my wife had surgery. Like I played Pokemon for 2 weeks and was gone. And then 1 week for life. And it's like,
yeah,
I'm doing the best I can. And you know what? And just for that, none of us will be here next week. Just facts.
There you go.
Just because of that, none of us. Next week is going to be brought to you by Cozy, Alex, and Lammy.
Yep.
We're going to bring all 3 of them in and just let them run the ship.
There you go. I like that.
Yep.
Make sure you guys come and watch, because those guys will definitely have a blast on the stream.
It's all right. They say the same thing about me, yes.
Whatever.
Yeah. Well, they definitely don't miss me, so it makes sense. But nonetheless. I guess I'm glad that things are getting better for you on the life side of things. I'm glad that you enjoyed and dabbled in some Pokemon. It's been a fun time so far. The new packs came out. I didn't get all the cards like you have, but it is what it is. I guess some people are blessed more than others. It's totally fine. But nonetheless, it's interesting to see people talk about Pokemon and Snap and how things are kind of alike when it comes to purchasing or, rolling that dice to get what kind of cards you want to get. But nonetheless, we're not here to talk about Pokemon. We're here to talk about Snap. Let's dive into the wonderful Doom 2099. Now, I know you weren't here last week, guest, so we can't give you no heat for that. But I definitely gave this card a meh. I gave it a gold. I said, I don't know if it used double gold. I felt that because it's just going to take up board space. And I said the Sages and the negative list will always get taller than it. So, why even bother with this card? It's going to be fun, but I think once it starts losing to those archetypes, it doesn't make sense to even worry about the card. So I said gold, and that's about it. I ended up playing with the card, and double platinum it is for me. Just going to keep it at that. Take my way into the platinum. This is the first time in the whole year that we ranked cards, and I really took a big shift to the other direction. So yeah,
now you catching all that heat for all that Sage talk. Like, oh, Sage is great. Y'all didn't like Sage. Sage is great. Now look, you slept on our boy Doom.
I sure did. I've been having a blast with it, and I think it is a double platinum card. What about you, Sino? How do you feel about Doom 2099?
I think Guest was here when I picked Doom to be the best card coming out, and then I started to feel a little less confident in that. So then I think I went in our Power On best season card. Excuse me. I went with, and I'm gonna try to say this right, Galactica. Did I do it? I messed it. Galactica.
Get rid of that random ass ick. It's not,
I'm pronouncing it right.
It's not Battlestar Galactica. It's Galacta. Galacta. Just cut a syllable out. Galacta.
I'm from New York, bro. I'm from Brooklyn. Yeah. All right. I can't.
I'm from New York too. Fuck you. All right. No. Galacta.
You lost the New York accent. All right. We can't say. We just add the kata in there. All right. So G lady.
Yes.
I went with G lady.
G man's daughter.
Yeah, exactly. But now I'm definitely back in good graces with Doom. I definitely think Doom is the best card that came out.
So diamond in your head. What's the rating?
I'm gonna go. Oh no, double platinum. Definitely double platinum. It has its little, it's things where it fills the board out, and I was gonna play there, and I was like, damn, you know what I mean? The Doom bot went there, but it definitely is a card that you can proc up high numbers to. So I like this card. It's a really good card.
All right. Guess your take.
So when we talked about the cards in general going into the season, I was actually lowest out of all of us. I said that this was the card that was being overhyped. I said that this is the card that was going to be the worst card and second to worst card of the season. We'll talk about the worst momentarily. I was not very high on this card. I was not very optimistic on this card. So after trying it for the last couple of days, I actually can't assess this card yet. I have it. I've been playing with it, and I've been having good results with it, just like both of you. Right. The problem is, so is everybody else. And right now, this is not a game of is Doom 2099 good. It's who gets it first. Yeah, because so many matchups are Doom 2099, and it's a lot of mirror matches, and it's easily right now the best play line that we're seeing. Is because we also had Titan on the board as a hot location, so we were seeing Zabu on 1, Doom 29 on 3, War Machine on 4, Dr. Doom on 5 because of the featured location, and then Infonaut on 6. And it was like, did you get the line or not? That's what it was. So I actually don't think that the statistics on this are actually right. Because of that, I think that the
oversaturation with everybody mirror matching.
The oversaturation of the mirror matches, I think, is heavily swaying the community incorrectly. Okay. I do think it is a good card, but it is a wide card. And what ends up happening is whenever there's a wide card, it's the flavor of the week. And then all of a sudden, people remember that they only have to win 2 lanes, not 3. And
that's right.
The second you start seeing Clog, you got a problem. The second you start seeing Tribunal and Negative again, the Sage, all these big single lane winners coming on in, everyone's going to forget about this card. So in the week that it is, this is definitely a platinum card because it's a lot of fun to see all of those mechanics happen, just maybe not as slow as they happen.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Second Dinner. Okay. I'm looking at you. Come on, man. Like if you could fix Sebastian Shaw, you could fix this. Like tomorrow. I think that long term, the value of this card goes down. I think that in the right now, it's good, but I'm not very optimistic long term. I would still say if you like Dr. Doom, right? If you like decks that go wide, this is a must. But the game is only about 2 lanes, not 3. I said decks, so fuck you. Okay, I said decks that go wide. I know how to enunciate, and I do not have a dirty mind. You evil human. I feel so welcomed. I'm so glad I'm back. Really, like you guys
all the way.
Yeah,
should have been here last week. Lady Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Oh my god! All right, yeah, sorry.
Last thing you need to worry about is Deathstroke with it going wide. Like that's we really don't need that combo here. That's gonna end poorly.
podcast took what,
well,
about 5
sometimes
minutes?
it goes to the left. Anyway, so it's about long-term investment.
Right. Oh, fair.
This card long-term, I think, loses value.
Okay.
I think
you don't
it's
think
great right now.
A new fun play style though, something new. Oh no,
I agree with you there. Yeah. But it's about as fun as Sandman. That's the thing. Old Sandman.
Sandman was old Sandman. This would be crap.
Yeah.
This would be insane.
Well,
right?
you can still run it with old Sandman if you really want to, but even with the current Sandman, I should say. But think about it. A lot of people didn't like ramp old Sandman for one very specific reason. You play one card a turn.
One card. Yeah, one card.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're not a fan of that, which to my understanding of like rough feeling of the community, it seems that people like to play more of the cards they have. So if they have more, they want to play more. It's not just about watching animations from the one that you played 3 turns ago. You know, it's I want to play.
Right? They like the
combos. People like bounce decks. People like move decks because you're doing more in the game. This is just I have Doom. Your turn.
And
then and then I'm restricted to that technically.
Right.
But I will
Unless
say
you use
both
Invisible Woman.
Right. Which we discovered on stream day 1 and we were like, "Oh, this could be fun." The Invisible Woman tech, I do think, I know you experimented with it. I experimented with it. I think that eventually we see something really cool with Invisible Woman and Doom 2099 because it worked, for those who do not know, it works like Thena in that aspect where it will not reveal that card. Therefore, it doesn't register it as being fully played. So you can play down a 1-drop and a 4-drop on turn 5. And as long as one of them is behind Invisible Woman, Doom 2099 will go off one more time at the end of that turn. Right, exactly. It still triggers. So it's a cool tech. And kind of like remember when Hitmonkey came out, we had the same thing with Invisible Woman. We're like, oh my God. Like that was like my claim to fame in the beginning of all of Snap era-nesses and that season pass was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Great. And it was, I think that there's something along those lines in the future that somebody like cracks, but minus that, it's just not a fun card. It's fun to see 20 something power per lane relatively consistently. But I just don't think long term it ends up being a necessary card for the collection, but it's a lot of fun right now.
So if we had to tell the people get this card or not, you're saying don't get the card.
As of right now, I'd say no. Me personally,
I think you're bugging, guess. I think it's a must get, honestly. I think this card
it's not a must get though. Outside of a Doom deck, what are you playing this with?
I think it's its own style. Yeah, you could definitely play a negative, but I think the style that it is I guess got upset with negative.
And negative would be something crazy, but I get it. It goes back to our first statement of this card. It fills up the board space. It's going to become a problem, but I do think if you had a choice, you should get the card though still. Because I do see the fun aspect of it, even if it's for a week. I think down the line, like you mentioned, guess somebody will figure out better ways to play it, and it might become something that's better. But, we did build that Invisible Woman deck, and I think that's probably going to be the best solution for it. Maybe even something like, using, what's that guy name? Supergiant. What's that name? Supergiant. But nonetheless, you said don't give it. I say get it. Sino says get it. I definitely think it is a fun card. So, and next week, let's see what happens because people stop playing the card. Or like you said, when Sage comes out, Sage is going to be a problem because like I told Sino, that's the list that gets taller than it every time. Like there's no, because they're not stopping Wong, right? They're not stopping Mystique. So even if they have Super Skull and they copy it, doesn't matter because you're putting Sage in one lane and Taskmaster in another lane and you're winning, right? They're not stopping you. So this is definitely the time to do it. So if you guys want to get to Infinite and get tired of playing Doom 2099, go ahead, check out my Sarah Surfer Sage list. Have a blast.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right, the next card coming on up. I really like this card. I got clowned between all the guests that have been on the show, including you two, for this next card, and that is Bruce Banner. I'm really high on this card. I think it's definitely going to get
I is the word.
It's definitely platinum in my eyes at this moment. And yes, I know it is a Danger Room card. But like I said, the play lines for me is putting it in my wonderful She-Hulk Infinite list with Frigga, being able to copy this card, having two of them on the field, and then, of course, skipping that turn, hoping one of them pop off, dropping Infinite and She-Hulk, or trying to go magic into it, getting those extra turns and seeing if it does pop off. I think that's the fun part for me with Bruce Banner. I think it's going to be super cool. If it pops off, great. But if it doesn't, you still have your Infinite She-Hulk play that you could do at the end. So I'm going to go platinum still as my preview for it. We'll find out more next week when it happens. I know we won't be putting out a podcast, but I'm sure we will tweet out our feelings of it once we actually have it in our hands and play. Yep. Cena, what do you think about Bruce Banner? Your preview.
Too much downside. Too much downside, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because, like, think about it. If I play it early, right, and let's say it does proc off early for me, cheat bait. If it never procs off for me, it's just never pays off. So I mean, I don't know. I just don't like the RNG basis of it. That's the part that's bothering me the most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I maybe if it was something different. The 25, because I know how Danger Room works, and that shit works when you want it to work, it don't work. Like when you put an electro in that bitch and you're like, yo, destroy that for me real quick. Or you're playing Destroy, you're ready for Deadpool to die? Nope. So sorry. Nope. That's gonna stay right there on the board. When I don't want something, I'm like, all right, it's turn 6. I gotta win this lane. Like, oh, it's not gonna proc. It's not gonna kill my card. It's not gonna proc off and kill him. Bang, you're gone. So no, I don't like those odds. My experience with it, I'm jaded. I am fucking jaded, guys. I don't trust it. And yeah, no, I'm good. I'm gonna give it for the value at that, for the chances and value at that early turn. I'm gonna give it a gold.
Okay, guess.
This is my lowest card of the season.
There you go. Another low card.
Yeah, it is my lowest card of the season because it's doing two things that Snap is not accustomed to, right? It's doing a percentage, right? This is the first time that we have a card that has a percentage attached to it. That is a 25% chance to do blank. And the good thing about it, and if I had to forecast, I think this already is worth getting because it will get buffed to like 33% chance, make it a 1 in 3 kind of a thing. Because then the opportunity cost actually pays off. But as a 1 in 4 chance, and you have to float energy to get that chance to happen. This is a card that's probably going to go under several different iterations. We're going to see 3 or 4 adjustments to this card before it's relative. Like I could see this eventually becoming like a 4-2. That's like a 50% chance. Because then you've got a 4-12 you're playing with and you're playing into the odds. You're floating on 5 and 6. That's 2 opportunities. If it doesn't hit, that's a 1 out of 4 chance. So like I can see that being worthwhile then. I'm not high on the opportunity chance because even if you look at like the deck you're talking about, the high Evo decks, the Moon Girl, She-Hulk, Infinite, like all those different variations, a lot of those decks outside of the 1 turn of float guaranteed on turn 5 to make things happen, or if it's a magic situation, turn 6, outside of that, a lot of those play lines are begging you to fill your curve. And it's about 1 big skip to make that sunspot go up 5 or 6. It's about 1 big moment to drop down the value of that She-Hulk. The repeatedness of it is a big concern for me to get as many opportunities as possible for this Hulk to Hulk out.
You're fair. That's fair. You're right. Because I think, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, I think overall the card's value at 25% forces you to play then under curve for 4 straight turns. And no matter how you look at it, you have your opponents, basically everybody's going to need to play 1 card next week, and that's Red Hulk. Because everybody and their sister is going to be floating energy.
That's
and
facts.
Red Hulk will always completely ruin Bruce Banner Hulk. Completely ruin it. I just don't see this being a worthwhile card for the week it releases. But I do see it being worthwhile after they nerf it. After they buff it twice, because there's no way this card stays as a 2/1 with 25% chance in its iteration of release. For our ranking system, I ripped off a piece of a wrapper here from a Mentos package, and I don't know where this ranks on our system.
Wow.
But that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm at this. I'm at this piece of garbage. Because it'll have its one deck and it'll make for great content when it pops off on its turn 6. And oh my God, I won the lane. Yeah, great. Woohoo. This is going to be a sub 50% win rate. This is going to be not a good card on release. But come February, which is when I'm assuming they're going to get its second adjustment, because they will fix this card in January and it'll still be trash. And then they'll fix it again in February and then it'll be okay. By February, this will be a good card.
I don't think it's going to get adjusted. I don't think it's get adjusted at all. And I think it's going to be a great card come next week.
I think people playing Fenris also are licking their chops. So they're like, yeah, sure, stupid. Proc up to 12 early. I just cheat you now. Give some Fenris bait there for me.
Fenris ain't shit.
Red Hulk. I'm happy.
Fenris is super overrated. Fenris ain't shit right now. Where's Fenris? Come on, everybody talking about Fenris is the best card. That's
giving me Fenris bait right there. You're putting it.
No. Wait, hold on. You want to talk Fenris? Wait. No. I'm gonna hop in here because that right there is a perfect understanding of how this game works. I'm talking about Doom 2099 earlier for the exact same reason. The best deck in the game 3 weeks ago was Goon Knight.
Yeah.
Right? Fenris Wolf Goon Knight shenanigans was the best deck in the game. Right. You barely see it comparatively to how you did when it was the best deck in the game. And they made a couple of adjustments to a couple of other cards. And all of a sudden, people don't need to play Goon Knight. No, they just forgot about Goon Knight. That's what's going to happen to Doom 2099, except harder. Fenris's value did not go down. It's still a good deck.
I can't wait to see this. I do not see that. I think Doom 2099 will still have its time in the sun. I just think that I don't think it's going to be in any competitive championships or anything like that recently. I just think people are going to use it still as a surprise because I think it still has some type of value down the line. But again, it all depends on what the meta's playing, because next week everybody's playing these Hulks. So you're going to be okay playing Doom 2099 next week, right? It's going to be the following week. Probably that's where Doom 2099 might fall off for the Rocke and Groot. But before we get into Rocke and Groot, I just want to go through this play line with Bruce Banner real quick. So let's try to follow me, right? Guys follow me? Chat, listen, let's make sure you guys let us know how y'all feel about Bruce Banner, because we got trash, we got okay, and we got fantastic. All right, last time we had this, it was Sage, but we're not going to talk about that. Let's go down the list. We got Sunspot on 1. We have Bruce Banner on 2. We have Frigga on 3. Now we're on turn 4. So now every energy has been spent. Turn 4 becomes you could play Bruce Banner by himself, skip 5, hope that both of them pop off, and then go into Infinite. Can't play She-Hulk. That's the worst case scenario. No, sorry. What am I saying? You only play Bruce Banner on 4. You did float 2 energy, so you can get some chance to lock there that they pop off. Right? So far, we good?
Yep. Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Then we skip turn 5. Again, another chance for them to pop off. Sunspots in the lane, one of them. So hopefully that's good enough. Turn 6, we could drop She-Hulk in the lane with the Sunspot. That's getting the buff with the Bruce Banner. Hopefully it got to Hulk, and an Infinite in another lane. So you still have a chance of winning there. But your main key play is going to be playing Psylocke and that second Bruce Banner on 4. So when you skip 5, you could drop She-Hulk and Infinite. Keep in mind, you have a 3/4 Frigga on the field. You're going to have a 1/5 in a Sunspot somewhere else. You're going to have a 2/1 and a 2/1. So regardless if they don't pop off, I think you're still in good standings being able to drop a 10 power She-Hulk and a 20 power Infinite in any of the lanes with alongside that 1/5 Sunspot with the 3/4, what's her name? Frigga, right? And of course the 2/1 Bruce Banner in that lane. So what's that? 10? No, we have 4, 4, 5, that's 9, 10. Yeah, 10 power. So you can put 20 in that lane with She-Hulk and then 20 in the other lane. I think that's good enough.
Yes,
Go ahead, guys. Let me hear it.
No. Because, okay, so Sunspot, you used all the energy on turn 1. Bruce Banner goes down on 2, used all the energy.
Yep.
Frigga goes down on 3, used all the energy. You use the other Bruce and Psylocke on 4, you used all the energy.
Right. No. Or you don't use Psylocke, right? So then if you don't, then you have turn 4, you can get the Bruce, hopefully, and turn 5, because you're going to skip to get the 2 Bruces to pop off, hopefully. Then you have Infinite in the last turn. That's one way to go. Then the other way, yes. The other way is the way you're talking. Psylocke and what's the name on turn 4?
But if you do Psylocke and Bruce on 4, all 4 of those turns, you've used all the energy. So you're only giving your Bruce 1 shot to potentially pop off on turn 5.
Correct. So that puts you.
I don't like those odds. I really don't like those odds.
I hear you, but then I still put you in a position to have 21 in one lane with Infinite, one of the Bruces that didn't go off, and then have 20 in another lane with She-Hulk, 1-5 Sunspot, 3-4 Frigga, and the 2-1 Bruce Banner that didn't go off as well. So 20 in 2 lanes. You think Frigga on the board is not strong enough?
So
yeah, go ahead.
No, because all I need is a Red Guardian and you're dead. And that's an incredibly relevant card right now. And especially next week, it's like you're going to see that card everywhere. You're going to need some other protection to make that make those combinations happen the way that you want. I think
I'm sure. But the same way they have to draw a Red Guardian, it's the same chance I have to hopefully these Hulks pop off.
Okay,
it's really going to be one or the other. I'm
going to give you an alternative version of getting the Bruces to do their thing the way that you want them to. I think you're playing intentionally. You're trying to play off curve. And the way you do that is actually not high Evo.
I wasn't playing high Evo.
Well, like just in general, like that's going to be the number one recommended deck in general. Is going to be playing high Evo because it leans into that, even though I don't think that's the best deck for it. I think the best deck for it's actually Drac Dump. Because you've got an off-curve line starting on turn 3. You play Black Swan on 2, Bruce on 3, giving Bruce an opportunity. You're playing Frigga on 4, giving Bruce an opportunity. You're playing Dracula on 5 and activate the Black Swan. I mean, you've then got your options to decide if you want to play down that second Bruce potentially on turn 6 and have all the free 1-drops drop down afterwards. So you're leaving only 6 drops in your hand. I think that Drac Dump actually ends up having a better opportunity to float energy because it's not about floating under. It's about reducing other cards' energy so you get that variance. Black Swan is that type of card. Hope Summer's increasing, Psylocke increasing. Those are good, but I think Black Swan is actually a surprisingly good card for Bruce and needs to be explored because you're going to organically create those floats in that style of deck without even trying. And you don't have to literally dump your hand. You just have to have your 1-drops doing its right thing.
Correct.
But at the same time, I've been drinking. So, there's only so much variance you can put with that. As Cino takes a sip of something that looks like not iced tea.
But in your scenario, in your play lines and your what you mentioned, that's going to be a little bit less trickier to get top power in those lanes, right? Dracula takes something out the hand, one of the 6 costs, whether it be Infinite or 14 power, or whatever. It's still not guaranteed to put 20 and 20 or 21 and 20 in a lane, right? Because you're going to drop some of the ones. You're going to hope the stuff pops off. But if it doesn't pop off, that means you're guaranteed to win 1 lane at least with the Dracula dump, right? 1 lane with Dracula. The other lanes, I don't think you're going to win.
But it's the same opportunity cost for you when you put an Infinite down guaranteed in 1 lane, and then you're praying to RNGesus that your Bruce Banners pop off in the other.
Well, Well, it's 21. It's 21. Wow. And if we got Wasp, it's 22 in one lane. And then it's
Wasp.
20 in the other
fuck.
lane.
Guys, it's the Wasp. It's the Wasp that does. The game has been. Taxi. Did you hear? It was the Wasp the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead and yawn again, dog, because that's how I feel about it, too. It's okay.
Right.
Like,
that's. We're going to see what happens, guys. We know what?
I'm mad at both of you for spending so much time on fucking Banner. Okay, like literally, David Banner, that trash.
What are you singing? You sing like David Banner?
Yeah, Banner.
You being racist right now, bro. I'm done with you. See the looks of me go, David Banner.
Bruce Banner, my bad.
Well,
David Banner. That's how uninterested in this card I am. I call it David.
This is where the white guy keeps his mouth shut. Can we move on to Rocket and Groot, because we're not going to be here next week?
So,
my bad.
Speaking of Rocket and Groot. So we read this card. We broke it down last week. I don't know if you guys listened and watched. We were all sitting here with my wonderful friend Juice G. And Juice is like, this card is going to do exactly what it says. Now, if it does, I'm going to go back to say,
and then we couldn't figure out exactly what.
Yeah. So guests here now. So we're going to have guests break it down to us before I even give it my rating. So guess you read the card. You know what it does. So we are under the assumption that if somebody plays 3 cards in the lane with Rocket and Groot steals power from all 3 of those cards, then have the ability to move. And if somebody plays in that lane as well, because the move triggers first, Rocket and Groot also steals the same amount of energy of cards that were played in that lane. So if there's 3 in one lane, 3 in the other, or 2 in the other, Rocket steals that energy from the 2 cards. I took it as 1 card per play. So if somebody played 3 cards, Rocket takes from 1, he move it. Somebody plays 2 cards, Rocket takes from the other 1. Is it the latter? Is it if they drop 3 cards, he steals 3 power? Or is it he drops 3 cards, he only steals 1 power?
It is the former. It is multiple procs. Otherwise, it would say the first card per turn, or the first card here, or a card here, as in randomly. Being that there is no what's the word I'm looking for? Singularity, I guess you could say.
Yeah, in verbiage, you mean? So
yeah, there's no singularity in the verbiage, because, and I quote, it's, you can move this once. After your opponent plays a card here, steal 1 power from it.
After it plays a card here. So that a card doesn't mean 1. It just means that cards or cards. But that's what I'm saying. Shouldn't it say after the opponent plays cards here?
No nomenclature in the game does that,
right.
though.
That is correct. That's correct.
I mean, because that's the implication that multiple cards are going to be played there. You know, and I guess so a card sums it up just as good as
it does sums it up. Yeah. Correct. Okay.
All right. There's the that makes it crack.
This card is definitely
because think of it like this, right? No, think of it like this. Hercules is a good example, right? Hercules's effect specifically says the first time another card moves here each turn, like it breaks down each turn and first time. I don't see that in any capacity.
So it states the boundaries right out. You know what I mean? In the detailing of the card, this one doesn't. So I think that's what makes it like
right. Here's another example for it that actually probably makes more sense. Werewolf by Night, right? Werewolf by Night's nomenclature is after you play a card, move there to gain +2 power. So you can do it multiple times in the same lane. You can have them go bibbity bobbity boo back into the same original lane on move 1 and move 3 within the same turn. So because of that, it should be multiple cards in the same lane in the same turn would proc Rocket and Groot, which is why he's my number 1 most exciting card this season. I said in the very beginning of this when we did our overall rankings, he's the card I'm most excited for because his potential is huge, and he gives reason for me to want to play. Finally, want to play Jean Grey.
Oh, Jean Grey.
Jean Grey gonna be a load of fun.
Yeah,
load of fun.
Yep, get out your war machines, guys.
Yep, because this is gonna be a problem. Yeah, this card double platinum for me. This just doesn't. You're thinking about Jean. I'm thinking about move, right? Put this card down, drag it across with Ghost Spider, then play Cloak, and then have it go in that lane. And it still has that ability to move again, and then you want to get crazy with it, and then Heimdall on the last turn. This is bananas. I don't know why they allow this card to be created, but this is bananas. Nonetheless,
yeah, this is going to be a good card.
Double platinum for me. Yeah, Cena, what you got?
I'm giving it a double platinum, definitely.
And great card. Give it a diamond.
I'm gonna say double platinum. I don't know if it's diamond. I think it's gonna be very good because there is a lot of prediction that has to go with this.
Right.
But in the right control elements or the right clog elements, this could be a very strong card. Mm-hmm. I'm definitely in the double platinum. I feel pretty confident.
Pretty good about it.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident in double platinum.
So before we get into our next topic, because I know you weren't here, and I just want to say real quick, between Luna and Penny, I really like Luna over Penny. I'm not a fan of Penny at all. Guess you weren't here. What did you take? Do you like Penny? Do you like Luna? Which one of the two are your favorite?
I liked Penny over Luna. I think Penny has more diversity in what she does. Luna has not. I honestly think Luna just hasn't been cracked yet. I think we haven't figured out the best Luna deck still to this day. I do think it's out there somewhere.
Luna Prof X is not the best to you.
It's good. I was doing Prof X, Luna, and Ms. Marvel, and I was having a great time.
Right.
That's doing Luna Lockdown.
Yeah. I think that's one of the best ones for it. But
yeah, it was a great combination to get the regular Professor X down once again on turn 4.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not as strong as it used to be because you could still move around in there, and there's a lot of move happening still right now. So because of that, it's like it works, but it obviously it's very opponent dependent. Outside of that, the TLSG deck where I threw Luna in was really good. Putting her in the Silver Surfer ramp deck that has Blink, Sarah Onslaught, that was really good for Luna. That was probably her best performing home for me. But Penny, on the other end of it, the Penny decks were very unpredictable for the opponent because you had several different opportunities for merge and several different opportunities for move. And I'm not talking like the Galactus lines. I'm talking more along the lines of like using that spider, that SPDR on turn 5 to create your own, if you will, vision on any card. That was very valuable to me. And getting the extra energy with the merges was very easy. It was nice to be able to play Agony again. Like,
Agony was fun.
Agony was an MVP many times for me. I think that is a card that will regularly be in and out of metas and is one that you're regularly considering putting in your decks because it offers so many different pieces built within one card, one and technically 2 cards. I really enjoy that card. I think it's very diverse. I think you're going to want to tech that card in very often in the future. And Luna is just like, can you ramp it? Like it.
I love Luna. Yeah. I get it. All right, perfect. You weren't here one day it takes, so that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, for those people who didn't get Luna or, of course, Penny, we have some awesome card acquisition updates to talk about. So as of this recording, the wonderful team over at Second Dinner have been working hard to put new things in place, which will make things a whole lot easier for everyone. And starting with a January patch coming out, of course, they will be doubling the drop rate of Series 3 cards in the collector's reserves from 2 out of every 9 to 4 out of every 9. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a huge jump. That's doubling your chances to get your Series 3 cards out of the collector's reserve. I think that's phenomenal. We did also follow up with Griffin, I believe, to find out if that includes people who hoard their caches. And he said yes. So for those people who are hoarding caches or haven't hoarded yet, just sit back and relax. Hoard your caches because come January patch time, those caches are going to give you those odds to get those awesome Series 3
pronunciations
cars.
there, guy. Some rough ones.
It's fine. Now, also, another thing they're doing for the January patch is, of course, and again, these are all Band-Aid fixes. Keep that in mind. They are going to be working on a true, better way for card acquisition. But in the interim, they're listening to people. They're listening to the community. They do hear us, and they want to give us something in the interim. And of course, with doubling the drops, they're also increasing the token payout for Spotlight caches duplicates from 1K tokens to 2K tokens. It's something that Sino has been crying about for the longest, and I'm glad that his tears have been caught in the bottle.
I'm a man of the people.
Listened and
That's
said
right.
yes. Because at the end of the day, it does cost 3K tokens to get a Series 4 card and 6K tokens to get a Series 5 card. So to double it up, that is pretty awesome, because that means after the second Spotlight Cash week, you have a chance to get that Series 4 card you want. And after the third, you have a wonderful time to go ahead and purchase that Series 6 card, Series 5 card that you want. Now, again,
I was like, we're getting Series 6? What? Breaking news.
Let it slip, y'all. He let it slip. Series 6.
Sorry. December Fools, guys. December Fools. And of course, again, guys, these are all Band-Aids.
If the Series 6 comes out now, you're screwed. You know that, right?
I predicted it. It's fine. I'm not employee of the month. So that's the employee of the year still goes to wonderful Guess Gaming. So yeah, again, these are all Band-Aid changes, guys. They're going to make some things happen. And of course, they plan to do a huge series drop in the first quarter of 2025. Now, all these changes are to handle those major concerns, which is overall lack of agency in acquiring new cards, new users struggling to get to the meta faster, as it takes a long time to earn those Series 3 cards. Remember, in the beta, it took about 3 to 4 months, a little bit under 3 months or so. Now it takes 7 months, 8 months if you're not spending any money. So them doing this is phenomenal. And of course, returning players struggling to catch up after missing a season or more of new cards and rewards. And of course, the randomness of the Spotlight Cash system feeling frustrating. So that is to help cover all those items. I think it's a great change in what they did. I do wish they add a little bit more, and I hope they decide to add a little bit more. Like, for example, I've been preaching, make your first key guarantee the new card every time. And if I use my other keys on that Spotlight, give me whatever random crap you want. I won't be upset. And of course, when it comes to boosters, I really wish the boosters that we get in the collection track is a generic booster that we can apply to any card we want, because you keep giving me white tiger boosters. I'm never using them. So unless you're going to allow me to take those boosters and swap them for like little tokens. Yeah, I'm not. Unless you're going to allow me to take those boosters and swap them for little pieces of keys or gold, give me generic boosters in those collection tracks. And let me use whatever card I want, because guess what? I'm going to spend that money to boost the card that I want. And I'm sure people out there would do the same thing. All right, so that's my take on that. Super happy. This gets a double diamond from me, because the fact that they're taking these chances and putting Band-Aid fixes on things that we know will take a longer time because we are not programmers. The fact that they're taking this leap and saying, hey, the next patch we roll out, we're making this happen, is a double diamond in my book. And I'm happy that Second Dinner is listening and not just letting things fall on deaf ears. I'm going to let Guess go next with this one. So, you can wrap things up for us. Guess, how do you feel about this awesome, this change? You tell me if you feel it's awesome or not.
The day was November 18th. I came back from playing Pokemon for 2 weeks. Was playing on stream. And the community was whining and bitching and moaning, as they do. Because we all do. Let's be real and honest about it.
Of course. Respectfully, of course.
Respectfully, of course. I foster a good, safe environment for people to appropriately express how they feel. And I put it up to the chat. I said, should we try to fix the economy within the confines of the current game? Just as like stream content. We were just talking, and it was like, I can bust out Microsoft Excel and we can break down all the stuff. And they said yes. So we did for about 2 hours. We broke down the economy of Marvel Snap and said, how can we fix certain parts of it? And the biggest piece of it, out of the 5-step plan that we created, the biggest piece of it is now going live. And it was verbatim doubling the rate of the Series 3 cards from 2 to 4 per 120 collection level.
It's awesome.
And I never got a check. And I'm sad.
But you didn't play a month, so a year, so relax.
But I sent it to Steven. I sent it to the finance guy. Never got a response. But guess what? Shit's going live, so I'll take my paycheck. Thank you very much.
Yeah, listen.
There is video evidence. I figured it out on my own. We spent 2 hours breaking it down.
Listen, and you need a check, and Cena needs a check.
Okay,
so continue.
Yes, right. But outside of that, which I'm for returning and newer players, this is a huge win because it was collection level 7,000 you needed to get to, literally over 6 months to get Series 3 complete. Now it's under 4 months, which is still, in my opinion, too long, but it is a huge step in the right direction. That's part one. Part two is the bigger concern here because we were live on stream when this dropped, and I was reading the second point, and I'm very confused because I think it does speak very heavily to the future, and people don't realize it yet because they're increasing the payout of that Spotlight Cash duplicate from 1,000 to 2,000. Now, economically, this actually makes 0 sense whatsoever to do because we all know a Series 5 card is 6,000 tokens.
Right.
It's also 4 keys worth at maximum potential, right? It's worth 4 keys. Correct. So that means, do the math, 6,000 divided by 4, 1,500 tokens. So the direct correlation value of a key is 1,500 tokens. Economically speaking, as soon as this goes live, the best thing to do with your keys is to hope you don't get the Spotlight key on one tap. It's actually to get this, get the duplicate card, get the 2,000 tokens, and then the second, hold on. And then the second key you use ends up getting the Spotlight card.
Yeah.
Because you've converted a Spotlight key to be 33% more valuable by being 2,000 tokens. So starting in January, you're not hoping for one tappers. You're hoping for 2 tappers. You're hoping specifically to get the duplicate followed by the Spotlight card. And because of that being ass backwards, I think that there's something bigger here. I think that there's something regarding Spotlight tokens, excuse me, collector's tokens that we should be, I don't know about worried about, but they're clearly important. Because if you also go look at, go to your favorite, data mine site, and you look at the data mines, there is almost there's 3 bundles in the next 10 weeks or something like that have one random ass key in it. And then the tokens are much more abundant. I think that that's the direction based on seeing this economically, that we're getting a over investment of value for tokens to keys, plus the amount of bundles that are in the data mines that are leaning towards collector's tokens. I think that they're leaning towards a collector's token system just by looking at those two. And granted, that would be, they would have to fucking redo everything in the collector's tokens because that shit is the hardest thing to get in Marvel Snap right now.
Because with the collection, we get 100, right? They should change that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
you should give us 17,000 at this point. Jesus,
well, I was gonna at least be reasonable and at least bump it up to at least 500. Right, 500 to 200 at a time. That way, at least 500, you can keep going through the track.
I'll open my cash,
and then I get 500 more. That's 1,000. And I get 500 more. That's 1,500.
I'll open my
I'm at 2,000. I know eventually I'm going to stack enough to get at least a card I want. Right, it's going to add up to a point soon. Not something far down the line. It's soon. If I keep playing and keep it up, I will get enough to get at least 3,000 for a card I like, or 6,000 eventually if I grind hard enough. But that's a lot sooner than I'm going to get with just 100 at a time. I think
they have to change that. If that's the direction they go, there's not a question in my mind that they change that, because also just if they're moving away from Spotlight keys entirely, for example, right? Say that they just say, you know what, we're done with this shit, and they just throw it out the window.
Right.
One of two things happens. Either A, they create a system within the confines of the current system, which means using the currencies that we already have, or we're going to get another fucking currency in exchange for Spotlights. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want another currency. That would just make things.
But those are the solutions, right? The solution is fix the system with what you've already got in place, which means then changing dials, numbers, values, etc. Or you have to then have some kind of convertible like there are a bunch of people that have a load of spotlight keys banked.
Oh no. Yeah.
If that's gone, what does that convert into? It has to convert into something.
Tokens.
Well, it will convert into the new currency or whichever.
Right. Either the new currency, tokens, credits, because remember a key is like certain number of collection levels. So it could be credits. It could be a bunch of different stuff. Right.
Right.
That all has value. And I think it's interesting looking at the announcement because I'm not a genius in any way. I can't crystal ball this shit, but I know that 2000 is higher than 1500 and 1500 is one spotlight key. Therefore, why are they giving us more?
We'll find out.
That's how I look at it. Why are they giving us more? Unfortunately, and I quote, we'll find out in a few months.
Yeah. Yeah. It won't be now. So it won't be January either, guys. So the patches come out January. We're going to get this Band-Aid, but they're going to still be working on the major part. And you know what? Take your time, but not too much time.
Let me put one asterisk out there into the world. Let me put one asterisk out there. When I sent, because if this also comes true, then I really want a paycheck. When I sent my proposal that we did on stream and we talked about dropping down X, Y, and Z and getting from 4 to 2 series 3 to 4, there was one other piece. There was another piece into it, which was, as I'm feeling like there's a sneeze that's about to happen, but it's not. Never mind. I talked about series drops. I said that they needed to get series 4 and series 5 both down to 30 cards each. If we get that big of a drop, that a load of cards drop into series 3 and we end up with only around 30-ish in both pools. Fantastic. I want my paycheck.
Yeah, you earn that. You earn that. That'd be fantastic. So I'm hoping for that. But like we said, we're going to see what happens, guys. This is a great change, great step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Let them do what they need to do to make sure they give us the correct system going forward. So like I said, Second did a great job. Take your time, but don't take too much time because, again, this is a great step. People are happy to hear this, but some people are still like, we want more. It's going to be that way all the time. But again,
bless us with the tokens, man. Bless us with the tokens. I like the 2000, right? The 2000 is great. We're looking at 8,000 in the month, right? 8,000 tokens, which gives you
potentially
gives you a card. Yeah, potentially if you have the keys enough to get that. Yeah.
All right. So, how you feel about this? Cino, what's your overall?
Oh yeah, like I was saying, the potential 8,000 tokens helps. You're at least in good shape to get a 6,000 token card. Even if you don't hit the one that you want, if you hit the tokens, it's a good look. I do like I said before, they could increase the tokens that we get in like the regular cash track. That would be great. Like from 200 to 500 would be appropriate. Like I was saying, as we're going up, we can accumulate enough tokens to make a difference, to at least have a chance to go get that card that we're missing, to go get that card that we want. Maybe we don't have keys, but we know that we can work our way up to it because we're getting enough tokens and we're playing enough of the game to get enough tokens in the credit track. So like I just that's my only change. Everything else is great. Like Guest said, from 6 months to 4 months is incredibly good cut of 2 months of grind and sweat and just not being able to play the combinations that you want to play for new players. Like that's a great cut there. 4 months, like when I was trying to get all of them, it took a minute. So the fact that they can cut that torture off for about 2 months, I think that's an incredibly big W, right? So I love that. Like I said, I'm a big fan of everything they did here, except we just need a little bit more to feel balanced. Just a little bit more. It's not a lot. Just a little bit more love to feel balanced. And then everybody can't complain. Though they will, but they can't complain.
No, but they should be happy. I mean, the overall part is to make people happy. And I hope people who stop playing the game for frustration reasons of not being able to get their cards
you
early.
Come back, you have an option to get those cards now. You have a way to, you know what I mean? And like Guess was saying, more series drops, even the thing out, you know what I mean? how could you be mad coming back to the game? You have an opportunity to get back into the fold a lot quicker and easier than it would be before or now, technically. You know what I mean? So there you go.
All right, so let's see what happened, guys. We are happy to hear this. And of course, you guys down in the comments below. And we do listen to you guys leaving the wonderful comments over on the wonderful podcast side of Spotify, Apple Music, etc. So thank you guys for that. We're going to listen to it. Let us know down below how you guys feel about the update and what are the changes you guys might want to see. Now we'll move on to, of course, this year's phenomenal set of cards. These are the cards that you have to pay for. Of course, these are the season pass cards. Now, you maybe don't have to pay for it. If you're a fan of Super Tech Gods and you come over to the wonderful streams, we give away these like candies. You get a battle pass, and you get a battle pass, and you get a battle pass. So if you guys come on by, you might get one of these for free. Nonetheless, we want to pick our top
Snap Oprah.
Yes, Snap Oprah. Yeah, we want to pick our top season pass card for the year. Now, of course, we're going to go through these real quick. We have Scar at January, which was a great season. We have Black Swan. We have Hope Summers. We have Baron Zemo. Blink, Gilgamesh, Gwenpool, Kate Bishop, Symbiote Spider-Man, Agent Venom, Kate Bishop, and Galacta. Now,
Kate Bishop twice. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we got Kate Bishop in here twice. Wait a minute.
When did I say
we have Kate Bishop in here twice in our list. Do?
Yeah.
We
missed.
We blame our researchers for this one, guys. Yeah. All right.
Business. So after Gwenpool was Kate Bishop, Symbiote, Sator. You don't have Sator in here. Surtur was November.
All right,
guys. What are we doing? If we edit this or not, ready?
It happens. So guys, just leave it.
Awesome season pass.
They heard it. Moving on, Surtur, and we really like Kate Bishop. Yes. Okay. Anyway.
Okay. All right. So, what do you guys think is the number one card, season pass card this year? I'll kick things off. My pick, of course, has to be. It was very tough. It was a very hard one, but I had to go with the one and only Agent Venom in October. Not because October is my birthday month. I just think Agent Venom. Oh, it's Guest's birthday month too. I just think Agent Venom was a phenomenal card when he came out. I still think he's a good card now. But when he came out, he was changing the base cards, not adding, changing the base cards to 4 power, which was huge for bounce, huge for sage lists, huge for ongoing lists. It was huge for negative lists. It was phenomenal across the board. I had the most fun with that card. And even with the nerf, I still think it is still a phenomenal season pass card. Runners up, I'm not going to say because I want to hear what these guys have to say, but I'm going to go ahead and kick things off with Guess. Guess what is your favorite season pass card of 2024?
That was very considerate. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
It was, this one was really tough, to be honest, because
I agree.
There are really good season pass cards this year. Like really good. It was easier to say, you know which ones I didn't like? That list was much shorter. But because when I look at it, like what's the best season pass card of this year, I have to look at its current iteration, not its release iteration. That's how I'm looking at it first. Otherwise, for example, Black Swan, you look at completely differently. It's still not good, but either way, you look at it. You look at it through different lens, right? Agent Venom's lens has definitely changed as well. Gilgamesh has definitely changed, et cetera, et cetera. It was really tough for me, but I honestly, I kept going back and forth between the 3 that I was stuck between, to be honest, was Hope Summers, Kate Bishop, and Galacta. And Agent Venom was really close. Was really, really close. But I'm actually going to end up probably saying Kate Bishop because I think Kate Bishop is the most flexible and goes in the most decks. It has a combination of tech and power. And being that it is that flexible, and it's like Nico Minoru, obviously, in that sense, it's a Swiss Army knife style card. Given the frequency of what you can do, different decks that you can consider it for, that's what it leads me down the path of saying this was probably my favorite of the entire year, because I use that card more than any of the other ones, but barely over a couple of them. So I'm going to say Kate Bishop was the best season pass card of the year.
Awesome. All right, Sino, what's your pick?
Yeah. So I guess that was funny because I knew Guess was gonna pick Kate Bishop because of the
twice on the list.
Yeah, because of that. Not only that, but because of the Swiss Army knife style. I was gonna say that specifically. The Swiss Army knife style of Kate Bishop just fits Guess so much because she does so much. You know, she has so many tools and so many things that I could see why Guess picked that. You know what I mean? Like that was totally on my mind from Rem. I was like, okay, he's gonna pick Kate Bishop. So I knew I was safe when I picked Galacta. I got it.
You got it.
You got
Yay!
I got it. Let's go. Yeah, maybe I go for the win.
You pronounced it right.
Good job.
Yes, I just think her buff in the opposite lanes are just too crucial and too OP. I think she's such a great card, especially with her power and her stat line. So I think she is definitely is the best card out here. But I knew Guess was going to go with Kate Bishop.
It was close, man. Like Hope Summers was my number 2 because
Hope was my number 2 as well. I play Hope a lot.
I use her a lot too. Yeah,
this was hard to consider. I'm not gonna. Gilgamesh was in there, but Kate Bishop just to me and see Agent Venom is also. For me. My top 3 was Galacta. It was Symbiote Spider-Man and Agent Venom. The reason Agent Venom wasn't over Symbiote for me was because they changed what he was. Because at +4 he was cracked. That shit was so good. Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. That was cracked, right? To change it to 4, that was awesome. To change it to 3 just made it a reverse bass, and that's cool and all, and I like it. It has its benefits. Don't get me wrong. I just think it took it down a notch for me, which made it go down to number 3 in the top 3 in my category.
Yeah, no, Hope Summers I play a lot, especially in the Infinite decks, right? Because I want to get that extra, Infinite She-Hulk play.
Right.
I think Kate is I think Hope Summers is just great when you want to ramp up power because you could drop multiple cards on her and get that multiple energy versus the other cards that only give you 1 energy per turn extra, the Psylocke, the Luna, the whatever. So I definitely did like Hope, but I had to go Age of Venom because of how great he was when he came out. Even now, too. I mean, when he came out, I had a blast playing with him, and it was so much fun. I think I had the most fun with that card over any other season pass card this year. Now, Galacta, I loved it because I was just giving Infinite 23 power and just like, win the lane with Infinite by himself. But that's the reason why I went Age of Venom for sure. But it was definitely Age of Venom, Hope Summers, and Galacta for me.
This was tough. Right. This was when you laid this on us, getting ready for the podcast today, I was like, oh, fuck, man. Like, it's like for Agent Venom, for me to not be in the top 3 feels wrong. But we had some really good. Okay, so then let me ask you the other way around then.
Yeah.
Outside of Black Swan, who's your bottom?
Yes. My worst, the worst one is going to have to be Scar.
Really?
Really?
I did not. I know everybody was loving the, play, like the tens deck, right? Trying to get all the cards out so you can get a cheap Scar. I did not care for that. That Scar was not I was not liking Scar. So January and February for me was very meh. Didn't care about it.
I thought you were going to say Surtur. I'm not going to lie, man.
No, Surtur was fun, and Surtur the only reason why I like Scar was because of Surtur. That's when I played Scar. If you guys look at my splits, you guys come to the streams, I have no splits for Scar, but the minute Surtur came out, I played Scar. So that's why Scar would be the least on the list for me. Next after that would have to be Gilgamesh, and then my last least favorite will probably be Baron.
Oh. Cena?
Interesting. I'm gonna go with my least favorite.
Can't say Black Swan. Remember, that's off the table.
Yeah, Black Swan is off the
0.
table.
Yeah.
Gwenpool.
What?
Wow.
I know.
Are you a surfer lover?
Wow.
He's a surfer lover.
Well, I don't use Gwenpool and Surfer. I don't like it. I don't. Yeah, you should. Nah, I'm good.
You should.
All right. And there's other ways, other things you can do. Then I'm gonna go. This is so rough. I'm gonna have to, and I love this card, but out of all these cards, I would have to say Gilgamesh, I agree with you. And then Baron Zemo was the hardest one to say because I feel like Baron Zemo does give you some benefits of stealing and milling, but then Baron Zemo would be,
I can't believe that neither of you said Symbiote Spider-Man.
But Symbiote Spider-Man is on my top. So I can't
that's
put it
in your
bottom.
top? See, Symbiote Spider-Man's in my bottom.
Number 2 for me.
I would put like Symbiote Spider-Man as my least favorite out of everything because I would play almost all of the other ones over because activate on turn Galactus
4 or you don't play Galactus or you play Black Panther, right? If you play those 2 cards, you would play Symbiote Spider-Man.
Right. Of course. No. I get where and why you use the card.
No, I'm saying you don't play those cards as to why.
Yeah, I'm not a Galactus player as often. Right. But if you build a Galactus deck, of course you're going to want to build, Symbiote Spider-Man into that deck. But in general, I just felt like in the future, I still see Symbiote Spider-Man being changed to also being a 3/5, just like Spider-Man.
It needs to be.
Because as a 3-cost activate, the value of that card goes through the roof, like into more decks. It hurts the Galactus deck, but it goes in way more decks, which is what I think that the card needs to be loved. It needs to be more flexible. And it just isn't right now at a 4-cost, needing to drop it down on only either turn 4 or turn 5. Like it's such a narrow window to work with. Like that's why I don't like it.
Damn, I like it because I could do the Shuri Aranya play, knock that Symbiote Spider-Man over to that right lane, and then on turn 5, right, and then turn 6, Galactus Symbiote, right. So it's like it's interesting, but I hear you. I think you should be a 3-cost to be great. I totally get that because it gives you at least 3 turns to activate, but it all depends on what you're playing and what you want to reactivate too. So I get what you're saying. So what's your other 2 bottom cards?
It's probably going to end up being Surtur, just because it's a very narrow archetype, and we found some fun stuff we could do with Galactus Surtur. I like it. Like you can create, but it is its own deck. A Surtur deck is a Surtur deck, plain and simple.
Right.
That deck got hit pretty hard.
Yes.
Specifically with Eliath going down to 6/9, that hurt it a lot more than I expected it to. That made a huge difference in my opinion.
Yes, it did.
So I'm going to put that down there, and then I'd probably say Gilgamesh still. Because for the same reason that yes, you can do the Blue Marvel line, but outside of that, you're not really doing too much else. I was trying Gilgamesh, for example, with Doom 2099 as another play line. You were doing Hope Summers into Doom 2099 into Dr. Doom, and then final turn, go Gilgamesh.
Yep.
And it was cool. It was fun. It was cheeky, but it just doesn't scale enough. I would love Gilgamesh as a card if it was like a 5/4 that got +2. I think the 5
ongoing. You got an opposite Ajax. You don't like the opposite Ajax? Ajax, basically what you be opposite to Ajax. Ajax is
but Ajax is both sides though. Ajax is both sides of the battlefield.
Well,
that definitely helps it.
Right.
Maybe just add that to Gilgamesh's kit. Both sides of the battlefield. Green power on both sides.
Okay, so I think that makes it crack. I think that increases numbers by a lot.
Oh, it absolutely does. Like you'd have to drop it down still a bit, maybe like 5/7, 5/6.
Right,
but
exactly.
Green power on both sides of the battlefield, and it gets +1 as an ongoing or on reveal, either or. I think it'd still be good.
Great change. That's a great change. They should do that.
I'd be down for that. Second dinner, guys. Flood all of you. I'll see you. I'll see you at the meeting. We'll talk. We'll talk.
What we should have done was pick the other cards that came out that month and see what should have been the season pass card, because I really believe
over which season.
Well, all of them, right? We should have done that. Right? We should have been like, so for example, I think instead of Surtur, it should have been Gore.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that.
You see what I'm saying? Like
1000% agree with that. You don't even need to. That's not even a question. Like the card back was fucking gore. Like, come on.
Yeah. Like I was just saying. So some of these cards, like I forgot who came with Gilgamesh. Oh, we had Makari. We had all the Eternals, right? Athena could have probably been the Battle Pass card, right? Instead of Gilgamesh. You know what I mean? Like these, like you feel me, right? Like you with me?
Yeah.
Who came out with Baron? I don't remember. I don't recall. But
the Baron, Thunderbolt season.
White Widow.
And
White Widow was a
something
great
else.
card too. Agent, right? Red Hulk. Red Hulk could have been the season pass card.
It was Red Hulk and U.S. Agent, I think, also.
U.S. Agent.
And what was the other girl? There was another one.
Valentina.
White Widow.
There we go. Yes.
Valentina.
She didn't need to be the season pass.
I know Red Hulk or U.S. Agent, I think would have been, or even White Widow at that time. White Widow was super broken.
I mean,
that would be awesome too.
Red Guardian was also that season too.
Oh, Red Guardian was fun. Oh yeah, so that.
See, I think Red Guardian is probably the better season pass card just because it was more well-rounded.
Yep.
You know,
I would have went that route.
Galacta goes in a bunch of decks. You know, Red Guardian goes in a bunch of decks. Athena even goes into more decks than that.
Athena, the Drac Killer.
I 100% liked Agent Venom, so we're not mad there. I like Blink too because of Blink different style as well.
I'm favoritist. Sorry,
I got you there.
Blink is a great card. It's a great card.
Cassandra Nova, Gwenpool. Cassandra Nova could have probably been it. I wouldn't have been mad at Cassandra.
That made way more sense in Deadpool's Diner, though. Like that made total sense.
Yeah.
I like Kate Bishop as
Irishman out there.
And then we go to Symbiote Spider-Man. I mean, he was the activate card, so it only makes sense. Put the activate card as the Battle Pass card. But if we had to, I mean, Madam Web would have been great as well, right?
That's a great card too.
That could have been a good one too.
There you go, guest.
And lastly but not least, besides Scar, we could have probably had
Scar's a good card. I don't know what you're tripping about.
Scar, I guess so. Kyra? No, Kyra would have been fine. Hercules, no. Meek, no. Yeah, Scar would have been it. All right.
I'm fine with that. Anyway.
Me too.
Random extra mini segment. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Extra time.
Fantastic. All right. And then, of course, we wrap things up, guys. We want to say happy holidays. Hope you guys have a phenomenal, if you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, et cetera. Hope you guys spend time with your family. It's the time to do so. I hope you guys had a phenomenal 2024. There was a lot of madness that's happened. There's a lot of awesome things that happened. A lot of
good year.
Come out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, gaming has been phenomenal. For content creation, it has been great for me. I'm sure been great for guests as well as Sino. We want to continue going.
Snapcast. It's been great for us. We got guests this year.
Facts.
When I choose to be here, there you go.
That's fine. That's fine. We're looking to do better in 2025. So I hope you guys come back and stick around with us. Speaking of 2025 and ending the year off right, we have an awesome event happening this Sunday, 3 days from this recording, or we should say 2 days as you're watching this, called the Brooklyn Tournament of Power. Power. League champion. We're not going to name his name because we leave it a surprise. Versus Brooklands in-person champion happening this Sunday. And we already have some awesome signups for the Brookland in-person team, a set of people that's coming in to battle it out. And it's going to be a phenomenal time. The energy is always great. We did go ahead and play the rerun over on the Power One Gaming channel last night of Brookland Part 1. We're going to do Brookland Part 2 that had us three, right? Us three was there, plus
us three, the whole three.
Our boy Parry, right?
So
we're going to go ahead and play that one tomorrow. No, Saturday on the Power On Gaming channel. So it is going to be tomorrow from this recording. So make sure you guys go check that out as well. And of course, on Sunday, come hang out with us on the Power On Gaming channel as we end the year off right with that phenomenal tournament. I cannot wait.
That's right.
To leave a link.
We get to go home. We going home. Right. I can't wait. Brooklyn, we coming back, baby. Don't worry.
That's right. And of course,
Guest didn't make the flight out this time. Come on, Guest. Come on.
Yes, it's all right.
No, just took taxi. Right? No, he has to be home right now. I
have reasons.
Yes, he got things to tend to, right?
But I can leave you since I can't be at Brookland this time.
Right.
I can at least end the podcast on some exciting news.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's hear it.
Send them home going happy. Let's go.
To kick off 2025, January 14th. You thought my last Twitch front page was a big stream? Just wait for this one. There's January 14th.
There you go, guys. You heard the numbers here.
Let's go.
And that's the same.
Let's go.
Is that patch day as well?
I'll see you then.
Boy.
Let's go, Paron. Taking over, baby. Let's go.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. See you guys in 2025. And until then, peace.
Peace.